want to welcome everybody to this Compass to MS Care program. This is a series that MS Views and News began before COVID. All right, we've been doing this for several years already, and we started doing it virtually during COVID. But again, we've been doing it probably for about 10 years in and around rural and underserved communities around the United States. Tonight's program, I just want to let everybody know, this is supported by EMD Serono, Genentech, and TG Therapeutics. Let's give them a round of applause, virtually and in person. Yes, I can not hear you clapping. Mindy Eisenberg is she's a yoga guru. I've always called her that. She always says she's not a guru, but until she proves me wrong, she's still a yoga guru. Take it away, Mindy, please.
Hello, everyone. I am super excited to be here with you. Thank you, Stuart, for having me. And we're really excited to be here in our hometown, or I should say state. And I have two Yoga Moves students with us, and they're going to help out today. It's quite an advantage to have people who experience the practice. I can talk about it, but when you have people here who experience it and have been doing it for quite a while, then you might really believe me how wonderful it is. So we're going to introduce them after I go through this, and I really want you to listen and hear what they have to say. So that means you have to stick with me on this. This is a picture of students who are in our Novi, Michigan class from a few years ago. But you can see all kinds of different people in this. We got someone standing on her hands over there, right? And then we've got other people on the earth. And so that gives you an idea. Adaptive yoga is for anybody. You might hear me say that several times during this presentation. So our agenda is, what's adaptive yoga? We're going to go through this really quickly because we have the advantage of having Yoga Move students here, and because I've had some people say, are we going to move? So yes, we're going to move. We're going to talk about what's yoga for MS, some of the benefits, and then let's go on for an experience. And that means people in this room and people online at home. Make space, get ready to move. By the way, the star right here, one of our stars, Suzanne, she's right here and she's on the slide. So we have proof. We have proof that she goes to yoga class. All right. So I like to think of yoga. It's known as an art and a science. It's also considered an umbrella, holistic umbrella. Dr. Cody just spoke to you about so many different wellness concepts: nutrition, lifestyle, sleep. I have so many students who tell me that they sleep better the day that they come to yoga. Yes, it is about movement. You can think of it as mindful movement, not necessarily as the girl who is standing on her hands. There are people who want to meditate, who feel like it's something that would help them or would like to dabble in it and try it. I highly encourage you. I would say that if someone asked me what's the most important part of my lifestyle practice, meditation is going to be way up there, because it really has the ability not only to change our brain, because believe it or not, our brains are plastic. The flow of the day just goes so much better. And it is a lifestyle, as I said. It is something you can do for yourself. It's very empowering. Nobody does it for you. You do it for yourself. So what's adaptive yoga? More students here. It's adapted for anybody. In fact, say it to yourself or say it out loud. Everybody say anybody. Yoga is for anybody. That's right, louder. Yoga is for anybody. Thank you. It's fun. Do you guys think it's fun?
Yes. I love it.
Okay, so, a lot of people don't think that yoga is fun. I don't want to go sit there and be quiet, and we have a lot of fun. Adaptive yoga has a very much a creative or playful element to it. It's not, yes, it is about going inside and maybe finding the playfulness from within. There's another mantra I'd like you to say, and it's called no pain, all gain. Let's hear it online. Let's hear it in this room. No pain, all gain. No pain, all gain. People think that stretching has to hurt, or you have to keep working until it hurts, or you do it no matter what. Do it. It hurts. It's okay. Just keep going. No, we do not push through pain in yoga. That is perhaps one of the most important lessons you might learn, is to listen to your body. Your body is always, always talking to you. Now, in an adaptive yoga class, whether you're in a class or you're doing the practice at home, you are, by the way, Stuart, the guru. Every single one watching this recording or in this room is the guru. I am not the guru. We all are gurus. And you get to do it at your pace, not my pace. Teachers are facilitators. They are guiders, but they are not doing it for you. Though in an adaptive yoga room, they very well may assist you. So I like to say, sometimes it's better to talk about yoga's not before what yoga is. Yoga is not about touching your toes, bending over and touching your toes. I can't do yoga. I can't touch my toes. That is a myth. So Patty here, Yoga Moves student, she can get a stretch behind her leg by being on her back. She's not touching her toes. She's got a strap helping her. In fact, she's got her arms weaved around here so she can actually relax and breathe, which is the most essential, fundamental component of yoga, is breathing. Everybody, take an inhale and take an exhale and notice it. Put your hands on your belly. Feel your inhale. Inhales are expansion of the belly. Exhales, you're going to feel a softening back down. Yes, more than the belly, by the way, is impacted by an inhale. But that's where it originates. If you have your hand there, that's when you should feel the inhale coming from the abdomen, the lower abdomen. All right. So it is not about fixing yourself. It's about accepting yourself. The most important lessons that you learn, you learn them on the mat, the yoga mat, or in the chair, and then you take them out into your life. So you can think of the yoga mat as your laboratory. That's where you're doing your learning, your research, your practice. What can I learn today that I didn't know about myself, my body, my mind, my spirit, my breath? What are the benefits? Some of you, most of you have heard, oh yeah, I can get a good stretch in yoga. Maybe not as emphasized as strength, coordination, balance. A lot of people think about how it can help with balance. Posture, how we're aligned. Restoration, a lot of people don't think about that it can be very relaxing. Or we've heard sleep mentioned a lot, right? Sleep. And yoga can help with that restoration, feeling refreshed afterwards, or maybe a good practice before bed. And this is coming more into the forefront as we talk about brain health. Yoga can help with, we're going to go right to the next slide to zoom through these, is that yoga, the research shows yoga helps with stress. There are several studies, not just in the MS world, but a multitude of studies showing how yoga helps with stress. I can't see your hands raising online, but how many in this room experience stress? I'll let you know online what they say. I think it's 100%. We got one over there, no stress, huh? Okay, I want to meet you and your secret. So yoga can really, so stress, anxiety, right? So yoga can impact things. What's related to stress? Then we've got inflammation in the body, maybe high blood pressure, depression. So this is all so related and so connected, which is, by the way, one of the things that we learn in a yoga class, how we are so connected within ourselves and with others in our community. So now there are two. The other thing that a lot of people tell us is that yoga helps with fatigue. And I guess I could ask the same question again. How many out there in our online world and in this room experience fatigue? Same number of hands, pretty much. So most people with the majority, what is it, like 80% of people with MS experience fatigue. And so yoga can help us learn how to balance our energy. So yoga can help pick up our energy, increase it, or it can help us kind of level it out. And that's what's so beautiful about it. You get to tailor the practice to what your needs are that day. Maybe you're feeling highly stressed. So maybe a high intensity practice or exercise is not what you need for the day, but maybe more of a low key practice. Focusing on balance can be very helpful for anxiety. If you want to know more research, there's a great presentation by Dr. Jonathan Rosenthal about yoga for MS that's on the Yoga Moves MS YouTube channel. So you might want to check that out. All right. So I'm going to whiz through these because we talked about some of these myths. But say to yourself, is flexibility required to do yoga? Absolutely not. You know what? The people who are stiff, feeling rigid, they may benefit more because they're going to feel more of a difference with it. So we know it's not all about the stretching. Does it matter? Is success based on the way a yoga pose looks like from the outside? No, thank you. You know, you are an A+++ student. Do you need to wear fancy attire? No. Okay, unequivocally, no. Is yoga just exercise?
No.
Boy, they really know how to say no. All right, so let's move on from that. And I think what you're going to hear, and I don't want to put words in their mouths, but yoga moves can transform lives because we strive to be a community. Yes, we do have an advantage by being here in Michigan, but we also have an online community as well. And in your communities, I encourage you to find your yoga, we call it a kula, which is a community. And this is a great place to nurture yourself and to also be with others who are going through similar types of concerns and life challenges, but also to have a structure. And yoga can provide that structure where you are empowering yourself and in a community where others are sharing that with you and you're inspiring each other. So you start with, okay, I'm doing yoga because it's going to help me feel better. And in that space, I'm going to focus more on what I can do rather than what I can't do. And I'm going to learn about how can I connect more with my mind, my body, and my spirit. And a bonus, a major, major bonus is being part of a community. So now we go on to the best part of this presentation, which is hearing from our students, and then we'll do some moving together.
Michelle Schloner, and I go to Thursday yoga, MS yoga class, and I love it.
Okay, Michelle, what is the most important thing to you about yoga?
The people that I do the yoga with, you become a family, and like Sue, we have a lot of fun.
Talk a little louder.
I love the yoga breath that I was taught. It really helps me with stress. There's exercises that Mindy does with us, which she did one the other day. I forgot what it's called, but it's amazing. So, and you can do this too. Like, try it, everybody, where I put my leg up and then I put it down, close my eyes, and I put my leg up, and it will go up farther. So I thought that was like just amazing. I mean, there's all kinds of great exercises. I'm so much more flexible in starting. When I first started, it was really hard for me to move my leg, like moving it back all the way. And I can do that. It's amazing. When you come out of yoga, you feel so great. Everybody has to try it. You feel really good. So to everybody in this class, go online. If you can't go to a class, it's the best thing ever that I ever did.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. And I must say, so Michelle learned something new. And Michelle, how many times have you been going to class? I mean, how many years? Sorry.
I've been going to class since 2015.
Okay. So we're talking 8 years. And then last Thursday, we practiced closing our eyes with some of the practices. And then Michelle had this epiphany that the poses were different when she closed her eyes. Now, we're not saying that that's going to be the way for everybody. But what every time we go on the mat, we're learning something new about ourselves. Every time we go on the mat, we have a different body. We slept differently. We have different thoughts going on in our mind. And the experience is always different. I've been doing yoga for a really long time, over 30 years now. I can't believe I'm saying that. And I am still learning all the time. So now it's my pleasure to have you introduce yourself.
Hi, can you hear me? Hi, my name is Suzanne, and I've been taking yoga for a long time, since Mindy started doing it. So probably about 18 years now.
Yeah, it's almost 2 decades.
Almost 2 decades. So, and I just find that it is a really good community, friends I've met, and it's actually good to see that there's other people that have the problems that you have, and then you can talk to people, and it just makes it like you don't feel like you're the only one out there. I mean, you talk to your family and your friends and your husband or your wife or whatever it is, but they don't really know. I mean, they try to know, but they really don't, or they try their best to, understand. So, but I truly love it. And as you said, we learn things all the time. Every time we go back, could be something simple. It could be something that's major, and I've been doing it, and I don't think I'll ever stop doing it. So Mindy can't retire ever.
Ever.
Like they. You know what? You said you were going to become a yoga teacher. And what's the deal? So Suzanne,
I have a lot of
what is
projects.
What'd you say?
I have a lot of projects. I don't know if I could add one more to it.
Stop. So what is let's talk about the yoga, the breathing, the moving. Is there something that's your favorite about yoga, or about one of the poses or an aspect of yoga? If someone said to you, well, what's your favorite thing about yoga? What would it be?
I don't know if I could do that. I think there's like 3 things. The community, stretching that I don't get. I do things at home, but and that's kind of hard for the people that are not able to do this. But I find that if I go to class, it's a totally different experience because I can interact and I get more out of it. And I just like going to class and you guys telling me what I can do, and
Oh, we do not tell students what they can do.
Well, no, that's not how I meant it. You know what I mean?
No,
you
I
know.
know. We're just guiders, right?
Right.
Just facilitators.
Right.
All right. Well, let's do some moving together. Everybody online, in person. I hope that you will join us. I'm going to put this away, down. Don't. Oh, God, I'm going to get in big trouble. I'm going to get in trouble. All right. So let's just go back to the breath. We took a breath or two that we were mindful of, right? So you can take one hand to your belly or both. Or maybe you just rest your hands in your lap. And maybe you close your eyes and maybe you don't, because this is your practice. And take an inhale through your nose. And just notice whatever there is to notice. And then exhale out through your nose. So we're bringing awareness to our breath. This is the breath of awareness. And this is where yoga starts. And this is yoga. So let's start by matching movement with breath. You're going to take an inhale and lift your right arm up towards the sky. And then on an exhale, lower your arm back down. Now, what if your arm is tired or isn't lifting for some reason? We say you can imagine in your mind's eye the arm lifting. So you can close your eyes and literally visualize the arm lifting. Inhale, the left arm rises up towards the sky. And exhale, slowly lowering the arm back down. That wasn't so bad, was it? I mean, that's essentially what mindful movement is. It's moving with breath. We're going to take a side bend now. Now, for the side bend, every pose has different variations to it, and that's how this gets adapted for your body. We're going to take a side bend now towards the right. And so the arm may be down by your side as we take the side bend to your right. And this is what it looks like. So you're literally getting length through, when we go to the right, we're getting length through the left side of the body. That's right. I see someone in the audience taking her arm overhead, and that's absolutely fine. But just so we know, we don't have to lift the arm all the way up. We might have the arm in a cactus or a goalpost, a half goalpost. Or we might lengthen the arm up overhead. Now make sure you're breathing when you do this. So take an inhale and take an exhale. And then you're going to push down through, if you're seated, through your thighs, if you're standing, through your feet, and rise back up and lower the arm down. Take a moment, notice how one side of the body feels with the other side. Just compare. This is not a judgment, by the way. We are not judging ourselves, right? What are you laughing about? All right, so now let's do the other side. So now lifting the other arm up, we're taking a side bend now towards the left. By the way, it really doesn't matter which side you're on because you've got two sides. So we're going to take a side bend now towards the left. The arm may or may not be bent. It may be down by the side, but we're taking that side bend. Or maybe both arms come up. All of a sudden, oh, wow, we can give a little bit of traction here, and we might notice that this is, no matter what version, a core builder. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, lower the arms down. People think of core builders that they have to be doing a plank pose, but because we are preventing the body from falling to the side, we have to engage our core. So here would be me not engaging much core, right? I'm going to fall over. But let's do this again. We're going to take a side bend, and on your exhale, you're going to pull your belly in and feel the difference when you're engaging your center. So let's take an inhale in, and on an exhale, pull your belly in so you can feel that. And you might take your hand there to just notice. The belly pulls in at the end of the exhale. Take another inhale and an exhale. And now let's lift the left arm. We're going to take a side bend towards the right. Take your inhale. On your exhale, pull your belly in. Then take your side bend. You're going to feel a little bit stronger from engaging those abdominal muscles. Inhale, rise back up, and exhale and place the arm down. Dr. Cody talked a bit about resistance too. Yoga plays with resistance of body parts in between sides. Take your palms, place them towards each other. Relax the shoulders, roll your shoulders up and back, and feel the right side pressing into the left. And then the left palm pressing into the right. And just notice. Just notice. That's building strength right there. All right, we have to do the other side. So inhale, taking now, the right arm may lift or be bent. Take an inhale. On your exhale, pull your belly in as you do your side bend, helping you not to tip too far over towards the left side. And inhale, rise back up, and exhale, lower your arm down. Now, we had Toby in the audience in person who we met a while ago, right? Do you want to come up here, Toby? Here, have a seat. Have a seat. Can everybody see Toby if he's sitting right there? Okay, so Toby, it's really nice to see you. It's been several years, right?
Right.
Several years. And so tell everybody what you told me when you came here.
I met Mindy on a cruise ship. It was an MS cruise, and she was teaching adaptive yoga. I'm not the MS person, I'm the spouse, but I attended anyway. And the two main things that I took away from the class were really amazing. At the beginning of the class, she sat down on her mat without using her hands. And I thought, I remember that. I used to be able to do that. And then a few minutes later, she stood up without using her hands. And I thought, I remember that too. And so I started practicing when she wasn't looking. And by the end of the class, I could do it. Not as well as she could, but I could do it.
You want to demo it?
Sure.
I think you just did. Oh, you meant on the mat. I thought you meant in the chair. We're going to show.
Sit on the mat.
I know, I heard what he said, but I thought I heard differently earlier today. Oh my goodness. All right. This is big time, but that's not what we're going for. You can applause, Toby, you can. I want to show not using, that was amazing. It was. I'm like wowed by that. Oh. But let's practice, how can we get up from a chair without necessarily using our hands? Oh, he's being a show off. All right, so that's actually chair pose. And just because I want to show you, you could be doing this with two chairs. So Michelle will demo this with two chairs. We'll do it together. So the pose is chair pose, or some people call it awkward pose, and some people call it fierce pose. But what it really is going from sit to stand. And so yoga also has that functional part to it where we're learning how we can become stronger, maybe put in some alignment there. So when we do moves that we do throughout the day, we might feel just a little bit more strong when we do it. So we're going to do chair pose. And you all can do it online as well. You're either seated and you're going from sit to stand, or you're standing and you're going to bend your hips. So I'm going to talk through first. You're seated in the chair, and you're going to, if it's available to you, come more towards the edge of the chair. So not that you're going to fall off, but come a little bit more forward in the chair. And if you know that balance is a little shaky, a little compromised, you might want another chair in front of you. Then we're just going to play with rocking forward and back. Just rocking forward and back. And yes, it's okay to use your hands, but it's also wonderful when you're doing your yoga practice to use it as time to practice not necessarily using your hands. Does it mean that you're going to get up? That your hips are going to rise from the chair? Not necessarily, but this is a practice. Yoga's practice. It's not about success and failure. So we're going forward and back as we breathe in and we breathe out. And then at some point, we might, and let's take, if those of you who are not going to hold on to a chair, maybe you take your hands to your shoulders. You can bring them up and overhead if you want, but this is a nice place to be right here. And then we're going to rock it forward and back. We're going to push down through our feet, and maybe we rise up, and maybe we don't, and maybe we don't. And then you guys are too fast. You're going to slowly come on down. So slower than slow, like slower than molasses. Slow, slow, slow. How slow can you go? Awesome, awesome. So this is the practice. Maybe we don't get up, but when we push down through our feet, what do we feel? What do you guys feel? You push down through your feet. What do you feel in your thighs or your legs? Push down when maybe you're lifting, maybe you're not. Feeling some tension?
Yeah. Yep.
So that's muscle activation. We are strengthening our muscles, whether we come up or we don't. So maybe we come up and we stay for a little bit. Maybe have some tea together.
Okay. I would love that.
And then we either slowly come back down, or maybe we push down through our feet and rise up. There's so many different variations of this pose. And then slowly, let's exhale and lower back down. And sometimes we go, ooh, is that chair still there? Is it still there? Did that go through your mind, anybody? Is the chair still there? So you have permission to check and make sure it's still there. You also could put a chair against the wall so that you know that chair didn't move. When you are doing a practice at home, little snacks like maybe 5 or 10 minutes, you don't have to have an hour practice at home. So you might just pick a few things that you want to work on, and that's your practice for the day. You have a snack that you do, Michelle?
I like lifting my legs.
She likes lifting her legs.
I like stretching, and I like lifting my legs. And
Okay.
also, there's a the butterfly. I love butterfly.
She loves
I
butterfly.
love butterfly pose. It's the best pose for me.
Okay, so we can all do butterfly pose. And so butterfly could be taking our heels together and our knees apart if we're seated like this. For some people, this is an inner thigh stretch. For some, it's not. Another example might be, and we can't have Suzanne, she's wearing a dress demo butterfly. But show your butterfly with your knees apart. You want to put them up here?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, she wants to put them up here, so we're going to go for it. Maybe just one comes up.
No,
Okay.
I like both.
Okay. So by the way, oh, she's going for the whole thing, taking the shoes off. But so props, yoga, you don't have to buy special props. You could use chairs you have at home. You can use, instead of buying a yoga strap, you can use a belt at home. There she goes. There's her butterfly. I don't know if people can see it or not.
Can you see? Can everybody see?
So I'll go do in front so you can see what a traditional yoga pose. I would ask Suzanne too, oh, you know what? Maybe you want to do it. You want to do the butterfly down on the earth? He's going to do it. Toby's going to do it. I might have him.
I can do it.
There he goes. Oh, wow. Toby's got really, really open hips, just so you know that. See, everybody is different. Michelle's got her knees up on the chair, or her legs up on the chair. Suzanne, oh wow, I didn't know you had stretch pants underneath there, Suzanne. So Toby's really stretchy. His butterfly is going to look very different than somebody else's butterfly. And so the point is, it's not about what it looks like on the outside. Okay.
We have instructors in the class, like teachers in the class, and it's amazing what they do. It's hard for me to go down on the floor because I have a very bad back. So whatever
What did you just call your back?
I have, my back, I have a challenged back. You're not supposed to say bad in the class. That's a bad back. not a good word. We get yelled at for saying bad.
Whatever. Your teachers don't yell at you.
No.
Give me that microphone. You're done.
No, but whatever, the instructors are amazing. Whatever you can do on the floor, they will teach you the same move in a chair. So it's amazing. They're wonderful. It's just amazing classes to go to.
So online, it would be the same thing. If we were doing butterfly pose, we would be telling people, if you're on the mat, this is how you do it. If you're in a chair, this is how you do it. And if you're not quite as open, this is how you do it. Because we have yoga props to help us with all of that, to support our body. The point is so that you can experience the pose in your body. And if that pose doesn't work for you, we do another pose that has a similar intention. So I want to thank my wonderful Yoga Moves students.
Before you leave, they need approval that we are being video recorded, so we could all say yes. Yes. Does that help?
I paid them generously to come up here and say what they said. We rehearsed this, and you didn't tell us that was part of the program. So, just so you know, we talk about the classes we have in Michigan. Yes, this program is here in Michigan, and we do have in-person classes. And even one of the students here isn't up here, but she's in the audience, and she's in that child pose. So if you aren't in this area, a few different things to know. We offer daily free live classes online with spectacular teachers. Many of them are the same teachers that we're using for in-person. And you can talk to the teacher. You can interact with the teacher before or after class, or unmute yourself. We have an on-demand online library, which means that you can't come in into our 12 o'clock Eastern time class. Then you can watch a recording. I shouldn't say watch. You can practice with that recording. And there's a whole bunch of different recordings, so maybe you just want that snack for the day, that's a few minutes or 10 minutes rather than a full hour, then that's what you would look for. And we're always adding to that library. We have Adaptive Yoga Moves Anybody book and cards, and you happen to be in those cards. How did that happen? You're like
They're actually pretty good.
So you can find me on the website. That's my email, Mindy at Yoga Moves MS. The website is yogamovesms.org. Feel free to ask me questions. People email me all the time. I'm going to take questions. At the end of a yoga practice, we say namaste, And what it means is that each of us has light within us. It's there. Like sometimes we just don't know it's there. And that's where the yoga practice can help kind of take away some of that dimness and open up that light. And so at the end of a practice, it's very much like a greetings, a hi, a goodbye, but it's acknowledging that light within each of us. We all have it. So I say namaste to everybody watching online and in person, and hope you enjoyed the presentation. Namaste. Namaste.
I wondered if we can stream your yoga classes like to our TV
Yes.
or whatever that's
if
called.
you have the ability to connect into your screen, yes, you should be able to do that. Like, I'm not a tech person, but if you are able to sign on to Zoom and connect that to your TV, there's some way to do that, right? Like Apple TV or...
Yes.
All right,
yes.
So just
Yes.
like you could watch
I'll
any
have
of
to take that up afterwards, all right?
Yeah, so yes,
Okay.
you can stream yoga classes that are live, meaning going on at the moment, like this is going on right now, or some people are going to watch this recording later. Yes.
Is it okay to do yoga at any time of the day? And
Absolutely.
Is it okay to do yoga more? And is it okay to do yoga more than once per day?
So this is your practice. Yoga anytime, anywhere. Once you start loving it, you'll be addicted and you'll want to do it all the time. But, don't overdo it. But you could either divide your practice up. Let's say Dr. Cody talked about, 150 minutes of exercise. So maybe you decide that on Mondays, you're going to do some yoga for about 45 minutes, but then you start your practice and then something comes up and you need to just do 15 minutes. Or you plan, I'm going to do 15 minutes now, and then I'm going to do 15 minutes later, and maybe I'm going to do 15 minutes before bed because I'm doing a more restorative practice. So there's nothing about the morning. Yes, that was traditional. Back in India, the Ashtanga yogis, they were 14-year-old boys who practiced early in the morning, and it was called sun salutations as the sun was rising. But this is yoga for mainstream. We are what we call householders, right? And so you weave it into your schedule. Make it work for you. It's more important that you make it work for you than trying to cram it in. That's going to be so much better for you. Maybe you're working on strength one day and then you decide that Thursdays is stretching day. And so you do 15 minutes of stretching after maybe you've done a more high intensity workout. So craft your own practice and try to get out of the rules. The only thing I would say is if you know something's hurting, you need to stop. And so sometimes repetitive exercise can cause stress in the body, and we don't want to do that to our joints or our body parts.
Okay, well, that leads to the next question, because the person just asked, can people with fused backs do yoga?
Yes. So, yes. Of course, you always want to talk to your healthcare providers and make sure what is safe for you. I have several students who've had fusions in their spine. They're going to do certain things differently, right, than other students, and parts of their back won't move because it's been fused together. I have a very good friend who had cervical spine surgery, and she thought she'd never do yoga again, and now she teaches it 4 times a week. So the answer is yes, affirmative.
Okay, the next one. Is there a particular regimen to follow, or do you just move pose to pose as you choose?
So it's going to depend on your intention. If you are watching one of our online classes or you're in a yoga class, the class is going to be guided by a teacher, and then very often as students become, more familiar with the practice, they start to make it their own even within a class, but they like having that guidance either that they're hearing online or in person. It's all about the intention with like the adaptive yoga cards that we were talking about, and we just did this in our class last night. We had everybody in the class go around and pick a few of the cards, and then we designed a practice with that. Some people picked some standing poses, some seated poses, and on the mat. And by the way, all those poses can be adapted to be in any of those dimensions, seated, standing, and on the mat. So there does not need to be a regimen. Now, you might be working on something particular, and so you might always include that in your practice until you feel like it's ready to move on to something else.
All right. So should a person pre-plan what they're going to be doing?
So I love that question because from a teacher's perspective, when you go to a mainstream yoga class, the yoga teacher's very often coming into the room with a pre-plan. This is what my students are going to do today. But in adaptive yoga, it does not work that way. I tell all my teacher trainees, you can make a plan, and that's wonderful, but you got to be ready to scrap it because adaptive yoga is about learning your body, and it just may not be working. If your class comes in and they're exhausted, or if you start your yoga practice and you're exhausted and you're not going to continue with that plan, it needs to be modified. But part of the yoga is learning what your body is telling you to do. And a good, experienced adaptive yoga teacher should know how to adapt that class. They should know on the spot how to change it to make it work for their students. And they're in an adaptive yoga class, you may have one student who's in a restorative pose, resting, and you might have another student working on holding the plank for 30 seconds or building strength. So I try to get out of the mindset that there's something you have to do. What you have to do is be safe, no pain, all gain. And the other thing you have to do is not tell yourself, I can't, because that's a no-no.
Okay, great.
Michelle
I won't
told
tell you I can't. So what I do want to say, though, to you is that our final question, because people need to get out of there and get home, all right, is a person wants to know if you can pose, do the pose or whatever it's called of the downward dog.
They want me to do the pose.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to show a few different adaptations of downward facing dog. Okay, so Toby was on the ground. I'll go
on. Wait. We got to make sure Bill's behind the camera. So if you get down on the floor, he can be there and not see the top of your head. All right.
Okay, the first one I'm going to do is an adaptation, though. So that's with a chair. We call it wall dog because a lot of times we use a wall for this pose.
Wall.
Okay. But so now you can call it chair dog. All right. So chair dog, hands go onto the seat of the chair or potentially the back of the chair. What's that going to be based on? Maybe the height of the body, maybe how the shoulders are feeling that day or the hands. So hands on the chair. We always start poses in a foundation pose. So this is mountain pose. Put the hands on the chair, knees are bent, walk the feet back. And this is a variation of wall dog. Now, what am I getting out of this? I'm getting a nice lengthening through the spine. We get some strengthening in the arms or shoulders. Here's another variation. Forearms are either on the wall or the chair. And so now this is another variation. Traditional downward facing dog looks like an upside down V. So down on the earth and palms are planted, fingers are spread. They are very active. We curl our toes under. Actually, I'm going to give you one other variation before I lift. So this might be one variation of a down dog. And then this is another variation. This is more the traditional downward facing dog that you see. So what's going on in this pose? A lot of lengthening and strengthening. Lengthening of the spine, strengthening of the upper body. We either lower back down or we rise back up. So that's a few variations. My students have taught me so many different variations of each pose. In fact, Suzanne, who you met, she was one of our first students in the first classes, and I remember her coming up with something about putting the hands or the hands on blocks. There's just so many variations, and that's where the playfulness comes in. So sometimes people have sore wrists. So we're either going to do that variation where we're on our forearms, and now this is called dolphin dog, or you saw how I did it with the chair. Sometimes we've got a curled mat under wrists so that the weight is going more forward in the hands and not dumping into the wrist joint. So there's so many variations that we can play with. How's that?
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. Now, one more. Somebody just wrote in if you can do the warrior pose.
Oh boy, these questions are making me work, Stuart. All right.
I'm so sorry.
No, I love it. I love it. You know what? You guys are making me doing this. You should be doing it at home and in this room, really. So, okay, warrior pose. First of all, there's warrior 1, there's warrior 2, and there's warrior 3. So warrior 2, I'm going to show that first. So one knee is bent out to the side, and either this knee is forward or this back leg comes outwards. So this would be seated. Shoulders are over hips. One leg is long. One knee is bent out to the side. Heel is under knee. So arms may or may not be up in warrior. Oh, we got our warriors going in the audience here. I wish you could see them. So we might take our arms out to the side. We might have one arm up. We might have both arms down. Might have our hands in front of our heart. Let's show standing. Standing might be against a wall. It might be, what did he just do? Oh boy, aren't you a little smarty pants? So those are the adaptive yoga cards. Yep, did you find the card with Suzanne on it, Stuart? So you could do warrior 2. Well, you don't even need me to do it. You could just be using those cards. So warrior 2, you might be holding on to the chair, and then we've got our wide stance. Why are these standing? What is he doing? What is he doing? So we could push down through our feet and be really strong. Okay, that's triangle. Yeah. So the point to the standing poses is it's bringing strength into the body. There's a mightiness about it. We are mighty MS warriors, right? So hands could be on chair. Maybe one arm is out. Maybe both arms are out. There's a reverse warrior. So many different warriors, right? Yeah. What else, Stuart? Okay, that is Crescent Warrior, which is a variation of Warrior 1. He's having a lot of fun right now, I think, but that's okay. All right, so what is he doing? He's just being funny. He's being funny. Okay, I'm glad he's having fun. If you want to show your Warrior 1, you are welcome to. I think it's appropriate, Michelle, that you come up. So this might be a variation of Warrior 1 because Warrior 1 very often, we've got the front knee bent and the back leg, we're getting a thigh stretch. Do you want to show your Warrior 1? She's just going to show her that's Warrior 2. So by the way, she's using Bunny the cane. And I'm so happy you joined us, Bunny. But so here's Warrior 2 with a cane. Or you could lift the cane and have it up here, maybe. Yeah? Good. Bend one knee. All right, she's doing her own variation. That's what she does. She likes to do her own variation. Okay. Warrior 1, you could be using a chair to the side. You might have one arm up. You might have both arms up. You might have both arms on a chair. Yes, exactly. Hips are forward. We've got a gaze going forward. These are strong poses. You're working your strong legs. And by the way, there is a version. I don't have a wall near me to show you, but there is a version on those cards of Warrior 2, or definitely in the book, Warrior 2 against the wall. So it could be lying down.
I did see that.
You did
I did see that, and we could have started the whole program with this, and it would have been totally different, okay? But we can't be doing this at this time of night because it's almost 9 o'clock already, all right? And I would like everybody to know that Mindy's got an awesome book for everything that you want to know about yoga, all right? And she's got all these cards. I mean, this whole pile that I've got in front of me, every single one of these things are all different cards of all different poses. So I guess I have to get active in doing some yoga because
Whoa.
Mindy's got me doing this once a year when we're at CMSC, but I've got to get more involved. Mindy, I'm going to give you the floor, and you could finish up, just close out the program, and then we'll be able to let people know more about this.
Okay, thank you so much, Stuart. So let's all bring our hands to our heart, and maybe you stack one palm over the other. And you might even close your eyes. And take a moment to express gratitude to yourself for being here right now, whether that's online listening or maybe listening to the recording later. Express gratitude for being right here in this moment. With much gratitude for all the learning and sharing and really caring together in this very nurturing and educational environment. So much you learned tonight from Dr. Cody and hopefully from the Yoga Moves community. Maybe pick one thing that you learned and just say it to yourself. And then give yourself a big hug and say, thank you. Thank you for being right here, right now. Thank you for this mind, this body, this breath, this spirit. A loving kindness meditation that I like to do, I want to share with you because I think it can be so powerful, and you can say this to yourself. You can send it to others you love. You can send it to the community at large. So it goes like this. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be at peace. And may all my deeds and actions and words and thoughts contribute to others' happiness, peace, and joy. And you can take the same words or make them your own and send it to somebody else. So let's send it to the universe. May all those in the universe be happy. May all those in the universe be at peace. May all those in the universe be free from harm and suffering. And may our deeds, words, and actions contribute to this peace, joy, and happiness. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us.
Namaste, and thank you very much, Mindy. All right, awesome. Thank you, everybody, for being online with us tonight and for being in attendance at the program location. My name is Stuart Schlossman. This is an MS Views and News educational program. Thank you again, Mindy, for being here. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.